It's been a very long time since I've been to a car boot sale. The weather this summer has been absolutely atrocious. The end of June was like the last nice weather we had, and then all through July and up until where we are now, it has just rained constantly. It was an absolute nightmare this summer, but finally I managed to get back to a car boot sale. If you want to be in with a chance to win a PS5 thanks to today's sponsor Flexispot, stick around till later in the video. Now this one is, in my opinion, one of the best and the worst to go to. It's one of those that is full of sellers, but it's also full of buyers. There has to be 10 times the amount of buyers to seller, and that ratio just doesn't fit right, especially when half of those buyers seem to be resellers. I actually bump into a large number of subscribers there, and of course if you do see me out, feel free to say hello. I don't bite. And of course everyone who is subscribed to me who are at these boot sales are looking for the same thing. We're all looking for video games, so it's very, very difficult for me to find video games at this particular boot sale. So much so that this weekend I'm not going. I'm going to a different one because I find it's just that little bit too competitive. This is the E8 standing desk from Flexispot. Sat in one position for hours on end is just not healthy, so having a standing desk which goes up to standing height with one push of a button is very, very convenient. It can hold a tremendous amount of weight. The E8 standing desk can hold up to 125 kilograms. That means it can easily hold my weight and every bit of equipment that I have currently on the desk. Currently up to 50% off from August the 28th to the 1st of September. The first 7 orders at 10 AM on the 28th of August, 31st of August and the 1st of September will be eligible for a full refund. You'll also get entered into a PS5 giveaway just for subscribing. Check out their website for other discounts, activities and prizes to be won. The link for that is in the description. Now with that being said, I had a bad week this week, very bad week. It was atrocious for video games. All the local charity shops have been really bad, and what I did find in boot sales just didn't quite hit right. So the first thing is Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now if you find this in the wild, or indeed anywhere, I think you're doing quite well. Unfortunately, this had something wrong with it. So this was the PC version. I picked it up initially and put it back down and walked away, and then I did a little search to see if the PC version actually sold for anything, and to my surprise it sold for about 30 quid, which is not too far from the 360 price. When I went back to check it out, it didn't have the manual. Now is that a problem? Well, with a 360 version of this game, no, it's not really that much of an issue. You'd still get a decent price for it. However, it didn't have the manual, and with a PC game, that's where the CD key comes in. Now, can you play this without a CD key? I don't know. Can you get a CD key online? I don't know. I didn't want to risk it. I couldn't be bothered to be messing around with it. And then if I was to sell it, did the person buying it know that you needed to get a separate CD key? Would they have read the description? Let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, no, they wouldn't have. So I left it. I didn't even ask the price. For all I know, it could have been £1, but I left it alone. Should I have picked it up? In hindsight, maybe yes, I probably should have, but without the manual I wasn't really willing to take the risk. That was probably the only thing I regret not buying this week, because everything else was a bit of a nightmare. My video game guy that I tend to go to for my Mega Drive games and a few other bits and bobs here or there, I've bought some GameCube games off him in the past, was there. However, he decided not to set up. See, the weather was bad. It was very overcast. It was warm, to be fair, but it was drizzling, and you could see that he was frustrated. This was probably his first, maybe second boot sale back, and yeah, he started getting all the stuff out, then it started raining, he put it all back in, and the entire time I was there, he just didn't unpack, so I couldn't go to him. He was my fail-safe in this situation. I was just going to go to him and pay whatever he wanted for some Mega Drive games, maybe try and find some cheap 360 games off him. So I carried on, and I found a stall full of video games. There was a console, there was a 360, loads of 360 games, some PS1 games. Unfortunately, for the most part anyway, I'd say 90% of the stock on this stall was marked up as CEX prices. Call of Duty 2 was 8 quid as it is in CEX. Silent Hill Homecoming was 14. I don't know what that is in CEX. That does seem a little bit on the high side. There were a couple of other games there. Alan Wake, which you've just picked up actually, for £1, and I paid 2, I think, so that would have been a decent pickup, but I already have it. There were a couple of other games I probably could have bought, but a lot of it was marked up. and there wasn't anything that really jumped out at me. So that was one very unfortunate scenario, to walk past my game guy who just didn't bother setting up his stall, paid to get in, just didn't bother setting up, and then to see this like 3 or 4 stalls down was a little bit, it was a bit of a double whammy. It was like, oh, he's not set up, oh, these have marked up. No, I'm not bashing them for marking up their prices. Obviously, if you're selling anything, you want to get as much as you possibly can for it, and that's fair enough, but it just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I then stumbled on a stall selling loads of DVDs, and as I have found in the past, you can get the odd video game mixed in with DVDs. I found Just Dance 4 not that long ago, mixed in with a pile of DVDs in a bag. So I'm scanning and I can't really see anything, and then I spot a PS4 game on the floor, and it's Thief, but they want a £5, and to the best of my knowledge anyway, that's way too much, so I left that alone. I carry on walking, I'm very disheartened at this point, and I spot a Tony Hawk's Project 8 on the PS2 on a stall, the only video game they have. I can't remember how much they've got it up as, £1.50, £2 maybe, and I'm thinking that could be decent to pick up. Do I really want it on the PS2? No. Is it worth trading in? No. I got so desperate, I really considered that. I was looking at it, I was thinking, I just need to pick something up to make myself feel better. In the end, I decided against it and walked away. The next stall I came to was very disappointing. So I actually managed to get there before any other reseller got there. There was a PS4 controller and 2 PS4 games. I forget one of the games, but the other one was like the Uncharted, the Drake collection, but it was ESRB, so I may or may not have picked that up. I was looking at the games thinking, yeah, maybe, but the controller is what enticed me more than anything, because the controller's worth more, obviously. We could possibly have traded it into CEX if it had the barcode on the back. I think it didn't, to be fair, but I know I could get about 20-25 online for this, or I could keep it for myself. But when I picked it up, it was absolutely trashed. One of the buttons wasn't working, and the rattle on this thing was crazy. It wasn't like a bit of plastic had broken off. It was like one of the rumble motors had snapped. And it was just completely broken inside. So you'd have had to open this up, glue it back, and hope that that was the only issue. But like I said, one of the buttons was completely unresponsive. It just didn't have any give. It was just flat. So that would have required fixing as well. I forget what he asked for it, but it was an astronomical price. The games, I think, were about 10 each or something stupid as well, because as I put it down and walked away, someone that was behind me shot in there straight away, picked it up and asked him how much, and I sort of I got it out of the corner of my ear. But yeah, again, another disappointing interaction. While in Bristol, I decided to pop it into the town. They have a CEX, which can be quite good, and they have a fully fledged game store, which is very rare these days. So I went into game, and in hindsight, I maybe could have done something here. So there were some Switch games, and of course on the second hand they have 3 for 2, and there were a few games that kind of maybe tickled my fancy, but it would have meant me spending around £36 to pick up 2 Switch games and one that I could potentially have traded. See, they had LOL Surprise, which was priced up roughly around the same as the CEX price at $17.99. Maybe I could have sold that online for like 15, maybe 18 at a push. They had Re-Reckoning, which looks interesting to me, and I probably would have kept it. And they had the Isle of Man TT Racing game, which again is one of those, lately anyway, I've kind of wanted to play. I had it once before on the PS4, and funnily enough, I bought that in-game to trade into CEX because I think they were selling it for 8, and I managed to get around 8 or 10 trade. You can use the game 3 for 2 to your advantage in most situations. This game in particular was very busy at the time, and I had to sort of fight to get to the Switch games in the first place. I could have gone through all the PS4 and indeed the Xbox One, and that's generally where I tend to get most of my luck. Switch games can be good, but the PS4 is normally where I find most of the deals. What you're looking for essentially are games that trade in for the amount that you can buy them for. And why that is such a good thing, of course, is because you can get 3 for 2. So if I buy 3 games at $9.99 each, I've spent £20, and if they all trade in for what I've paid, which would be £10 each, it means I'm spending 20 to get a £30 credit in CEX. I'm getting a free £10. But I decided against it because there wasn't anything there I could have traded or indeed sold for that £36. We're already in the hole in this series. We do need to make a profit. I look through the new games in-game because I often get people messaging me. One guy in particular, actually, I haven't spoken to him for a while, but he's messaged me a few times through Vinted, and he works for Game, and he said, look, I've just, priced this up at this price, and it's a really good deal. Unfortunately, by the time I can act upon it, it's gone, and there aren't any left because I live nowhere near a Game, but it's nice to get that information. So when I go to Game, I do have a good look through the new, and unfortunately on this occasion, there wasn't anything that really jumped out at me. I really wanted to have a good look at the 3 for 2 for the PS4 and indeed the PS5, but like I said, I went there on a Saturday, and it was it's a Saturday in the middle of summer holidays in Bristol. It's busy, and I wasn't really willing to fight my way through and try and film and look all these games up, because of course when I'm filming, like I said, I'm using my phone, but in order to look up the trade prices I need my phone. So what I need to do is look through, film everything, pick out the games I think are worth looking up, and then after I finish filming, stop recording, go on the CEX app. Can't scan them because Game put their stupid little barcodes over everything, so I've got to type in the game individually every single time, and on a Saturday afternoon, that isn't really going to work. There are too many people, I can't be taking up that much time and space around me, so unfortunately, I had a quick flick through the Switch games, nothing doing, so I left. I did pop into a few charity shops this week as well, and I was tempted by one game. Unfortunately, it was a bundle copy. This was WWE 2007. I don't think they'd started 2K at that point. I think it was still THQ. This is the Triple H cover, of course. Really like this game, and it's one of those that I really do want to pick up. It's actually come down a lot recently. It was up at around £5 or £6. It's come down to like more than half of that, or less than half of that, I should say. It's now, I think, £2. £2? Is it £2 or £2.50 in CEX? This was £2 in a charity shop, which was quite good, but it was a bundle copy. And then when I looked up the CEX price, I think it was like 50p more. And they've always got loads in stock, and I could have got a really good condition one that wasn't a bundle copy, so I decided to leave it. They also had a Mafia game in there as well, which was decent, but it was way overinflated in terms of price. And just to show you how they just don't look at prices, they've got no idea what's going on, there was a Harry Potter Wii game there, which was more than CEX. So it's not even price matching at this point. They've just gone above and beyond what CEX are charging. The only thing I've picked up recently, which was showcased in the last video that I put out, so if you missed it, I'll show it again quickly. It is Bionic Commando. This is one of the games on the Xbox 360 store that is getting closed down next year that isn't available on the Xbox One at the moment, maybe. So there are a few of those games knocking about the place. Bionic Commando was one of them for £2 in very, very good condition as well, I might add. I thought it was a bit of a no-brainer to pick this up, and as I mentioned in that video, I will be looking to pick up a lot more of those games going forward. Alone in the Dark is one of them. Alien Colonial Marines is another one. Burnout Takedown on the original Xbox. I want to get all of those games wherever possible, but also I'd like to pick up some original Xbox games wherever I can as well. There's also something else I'm thinking of doing. I'm not going to be able to do it in one foul swoop. I'm going to have to do it bit by bit. However, this right here is my original Xbox One console. When I say original, it's not my original. I traded that in when I picked up. In fact, I can't even remember when I traded that in. I got rid of that a long time ago. However, this cost me next to nothing. It doesn't owe me anything at this point, right? None of this stuff does, incidentally, but this in particular really doesn't. However, I think I could get around 70 to 80 quids for this, especially, did I just say quids? Especially if I, stop pointing at it, especially if I bundle some cheap games with it. Now I do have some Xbox One games that I don't need, some 360 games I don't need as well, that are off to the side that have been gathering dust for ages. I've been waiting to pay them with a console. So what I'm tempted to do is to sell it. Why, you might ask? Well, it's not because I don't want an Xbox One. I want a better Xbox One. Now, I don't want the very, very best one, although if someone gave me one or was willing to sell me one on the cheap, I wouldn't say no, but I want to get a One X. Why? Because it will play Xbox One games at a higher frame rate and in better quality, obviously. They are slimmer, they look nicer, they play 4K, which would be very nice, and of course they are still backwards compatible with 360. Not that it matters too much, because my 360 is just out of shot connected to the screen, which is also probably just out of shot. But I've always wanted one, and I've never had one. My local pawn shop, Regenerate, have one for around £105. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't come with an official controller, and the controller that it does come with is pink, but I can look past that. For 105 quid, I don't think that's a bad deal. Now, of course, it doesn't come with a box or anything, but it will have a warranty, which can be a good thing, I guess. I'm quite tempted to go in and try and haggle this. Now, I've never done this, and I don't know whether they'd be willing to do it, but £105 is a good price. It's not bad. It doesn't come with an official controller, which does put me off a little bit. And of course, you don't get any games or anything. I'm tempted to go in and be like, look, can I get it for 105 and choose one game off the shelf? Their game selection is quite poor at the moment. They used to have a pretty big game selection. Don't know whether people are just not trading them in, or they're trying to downsize. Maybe they're trying to move away from it. I really don't know the situation. But I'm tempted to go in and be like, look, I'll do it for 105 if I can get a game. Maybe even say, would you take 95? I don't know whether that's something that they do, but they've had it in there for a little while. Every time I go in there, it's the same consoles, the same price. Maybe they'll look to reduce it over time, I'm not sure. But if I go in there, and I'm sure if I offer 105 plus a game off the shelf, I'm thinking they might do it. If they don't, it is what it is, right? But my thought process here, sell this Xbox One, because I won't need it then. Get rid of that, try and get the most I can for it. Once that sells, put that money into the profit because it owes me nothing, but also use that to go and get the One X from the pawn shop. It will still leave me in a minus, so we are going to have to do some work here. So what I'm thinking of doing this weekend is going out of my way to try and make as much profit as possible, get that listed, get it sold, and then come back in the next video with an update. Hopefully that will have sold. I will have found something that I can sell to make a profit, and then we can use all of that money, walk into Regenerate and be like, can I get this £105 with a game? Get told no, and just walk out of there with a console for £105. That's probably what's going to happen, but we'll see. You never know. So look forward to that. I'm hopefully going to be going in to CEX soon to spend some more of the profit that we don't have. But before that, I do need to make some money back again. And of course, I'll keep you updated with this bad boy and of course with the Xbox One in that pawn shop. You watch. It's been there for weeks. Now that I've decided I want to buy it, it'll be gone next time I go in there. So if you'd like to check out another video from this series where we do have some pickups, you can click here. And until the next time, goodbye.